Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie, with a cup of tea in my own mug. I want to say thank you to everybody who's ordered merchandise from my store. Thank you so much. Oh, and remember, you can always customize it if you particularly want to buy a mug, but maybe you don't want the picture, just a saying on there, or maybe you want a particular picture, one of your pictures that you sent in for the animals or Christmas or Halloween. I mean, literally, I can customize the mugs, the calendars, all the merchandise. So just let me know if there's anything in particular that you want. And of course, the other thing is, remember, I want to say thank you. Thank you for everyone who has subscribed to my channel, everyone who watches my videos, everyone who likes them, comments on them, or just sits at home and watches them. I also want to thank especially my members. We've got members live tomorrow, the last members live of 2023, isn't it? Because next year we'll be in the new year. So I hope you had a nice Christmas, whatever you were doing. I had an absolutely magical Christmas. I haven't come down from it yet. And, you know, it really was lovely, but it's been major clear up time in my house. As you might notice, some of the decorations have disappeared because as much as I love sort of Christmas in some ways, I can't wait to get everything down either. It's quite chilly here at the moment. I've been out and about today a little bit, but I will be doing some when it gets a little bit warmer again. It's only 8 degrees according to my computer. That's very cold for Spain. Anyway, the other thing I wanted to point out is what I say on the bottom of the ticker as well. Please try not to mention other YouTube channels in your comments. I've now set my system that names are just automatically deleted, so particular, you know, names of other channels, because I just don't want any hassle. I mean, I get hassle anyway, it feels like sometimes, whatever I do, but I don't want it. So just try not to mention other channels. I know nobody means any harm by it. Sometimes people want me to know things. But honestly, please, I wish all other channels well, but I really don't have any interest in other channels. So, I don't know what that's. I'm just doing my thing. Okay, so yeah. Thank you. Thank you to everyone who sent me a super chat, everyone who's bought me a Ko-fi, sent me an email, any support you have given my channel. Thank you so much. Even my trolleys. Okay, so this tea, I put milk in it. I forgot because I come right off tea with milk. I don't know why. And it tastes a bit bleh. Anyway, it'll get drunk. So what am I here for in the middle of, so we're in that no man's land, aren't we? In that no man's land between, Christmas is finished, it's New Year at the weekend. Probably some of you where you live, your sales will have started and it'll be bedlam. There's no sales here yet because, or there may be the odd one, because we've still, even after New Year, we've got then the Three Kings the following weekend. So we've got another 2 weeks to go. You know, it starts to get annoying after a while, to be honest. But there you go. That's just the way it is. So the sales tend not to start until after the Three Kings, after the 6th of January, because that is the big Christmas celebration really here in Spain. So we're not likely to see many sales, because people, well, certainly before New Year, and then people will be buying things for the Three Kings. So sales probably won't start properly here. I do miss the good old UK sale. I do miss them. Not that I'd be one of those that was queuing up in the morning to go to it, or even, the first day, the Boxing Day sales. I'd probably wait a couple of days because I don't like all those people all together in one place, as you know. Anyway, so what am I here for today? Well, it's just a bit of news that I saw that I thought I'd give you, because it's hard to describe it as good news, but it is good news, really. It's good news for somebody's family somewhere, you know, for a family, and that's what we're going to look at. Now, on one of the serial killer Sundays that I do, I told the horrific story, really, of the Green River Killer, Gary Ridgway over in the USA, who's supposedly probably the most, or certainly one of the most prolific serial killers from the USA. And Gary Ridgway, he was one of those ordinary men, you know, the ones that we see, they, you know, just living a normal life, totally nondescript, you know, looks so inoffensive, like he wouldn't hurt a fly. And he murdered many, 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 many women. Now, I'm going to put a link in the description box to the video that I did do on Gary Ridgway. So if you want to sort of hear the full story, if you like, it is on that video. And I will put a link in the description box or in the comments at the top, just so that you can watch that video if you want to. But the development is that well, let me show you. Probably the best thing. I'm going to find it, of course. One of his victims has been identified. Now, this girl, she was known as, her remains had been found, but DNA was not sufficiently advanced to identify them definitively as her remains. Her name is Lori Razpotnik, and it was 41 years ago that she went missing. Now, she had been identified as a victim of the Green River Killer because he virtually acknowledged that. I mean, this man was so prolific and so uncaring, and he didn't even remember a lot of his victims. You know, for him, it was just like getting a tissue blown his nose and throwing it away. These weren't real people to him. These were just objects to his will, to his satisfaction. He was like a classic psychopath, where he felt no emotion. He felt no emotion, no remorse, nothing towards these poor girls. Anyway, let's have a look at her. Let's have a look at Lori, bless her. So this is Lori. She was 15 years old. 15 years old. And these bones were found in 1985. And they have finally been identified because of advances in DNA technology. They have been now identified. So for so long, they couldn't be identified because DNA, like genealogy, DNA, etc., it wasn't advanced enough. So let's have a look what they have to say on this news program about it.
Yet again, it was one of those family genealogy tests that led to success in solving this crime. It all started when the victim's bones, DNA inside of them, matched DNA given by the victim's mother. It took 40 years, but today we have a perfect match.
When they got my DNA, of course, it was a perfect match.
The shock is still very real and very raw for Donna Hurley.
When you don't have any answers, your mind always runs somewhere.
Donna's daughter, Lori Ann Razpotnik, ran away from home back in 1983. 2 years later, Como's cameras captured this, the discovery of 2 sets of bones found in Auburn. One of those victims was coded as Bones 17. In the decades that followed, there would be no telling as to who.
Imagine, it's so awful, isn't it? Bones 17. I mean, I understand why they have to do that. They didn't know who it was. But just awful, isn't it? God, this man, the misery this man has put, not only the many, many victims that he had, he's still alive, I think. Gary Ridgway is still in prison. He's got a life sentence. Again, it's not only the victims, is it? Then you take friends, family, etc. Just probably hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of victims if you go outside the actual victims themselves and into the family. So her mother, she's run away from home, and her mother has lived for 40 years not knowing for certain what had happened to her.
Who Bone 17 actually was. Yet this week, King County detectives paid Donna an unexpected visit.
They thought might be my daughter, and I just kind of gave them a real startled look.
What exactly happened to this 15-year-old, still unknown, yet at some point detectives say she came into contact with Gary Ridgway, the Green River Killer. During his trial, Ridgway admitted to dumping bodies in the location where Lori was found. Como's Keith Eldridge reported from that same spot on the day Lori's bones were discovered.
It is just 250 yards from where the skull of a Green River victim was found. It was just 2 years ago on this very spot.
38 years later comes closure for Lori's family.
What I would like to do is bury Lori in her favorite spot, and that was her dad's right shoulder.
Oh.
And her dad is buried in Seattle.
We should mention that Gary Ridgway was convicted on 49 counts of murder back in 2003. One of the people he was convicted of killing was Bones 17. Ridgway is now in the Walla Walla State Penitentiary. Coming to you from Seattle this morning, Ryan Sims, Como News.
So there's still another unidentified set of remains that hopefully one day will be identified also. Do you know, and I do think it's good that the police have kept going, trying to, they've not just written off these remains like, oh well, it doesn't matter now or whatever. They've carried on testing as DNA testing's got more and more advanced, and finally they've given this mother a chance to put her daughter to rest next to her father, which apparently she said, I'm going to bury her in her favourite place, which was her daddy's sort of right shoulder, or left shoulder. I can't remember now which one it was, but next to her daddy. So that's where she's going to be buried. She's got some remains to bury there. And I know it's called comfort, but it is some comfort. It is some comfort to the people that are left behind. These things are important, that that you bring somebody home and you give them a burial, and a celebration of their life, as short as it was for this 15-year-old girl. So anyway, I just thought I'd come on and tell you about that. So rest in peace, Lori Ann. She's going to be brought home finally and buried next to her dad. And let's hope that the Bones 17, the other, they're the ones, aren't they? She was Bones 16, I believe. And, hopefully they'll be able to identify before long the other unidentified remains, and hopefully I'm saying a prayer now for all people. When your loved one is missing, that's, even though in this case it was virtually, I think he was actually tried for a murder, so he was found guilty of a murder, so they believed that he had done it, but there'd been no remains positively identified. So there you go. It's cold comfort, but it's some comfort. Some comfort is better than no comfort whatsoever. Okay, so I hope you're all okay in this no man's land where we don't know. I was thinking today, I'm thinking, is it Wednesday or is it Thursday? Because I was thinking, oh, it's Members Live, and Members Live is on Thursday, of course. So it's not today, it's tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that, to having a chatting with you all and see how your Christmas was, and deciding what I'm going to do in the Members Live. Anyway, I'll be letting you know about that soon. So, as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll just put my little ticker on for a little bit longer. Thank you so much for watching, liking, subscribing, being a member, just supporting my channel in any way. Thank you so much. Remember to live and love wisely, carefully. Remember to send me in your nominations for Twonk or Twonkess of the Year. That's what I'll be doing at New Year. And until I see you again, may your God go with you. Bye.